Today, I'm going to be taking you guys along with me in my most recent esports match against MMG. And in today's video, I'm going to bring you guys through my planning process, my live attack, and other attacks from this war day. So the very first thing that I do when the war day starts is start on base number 1 and go down the list until I get to base number 5 or until I get the base that I want to attack. Now, whilst I'm doing this, I'm also making call outs for my teammates on voice chat, suggesting which bases might be good for different strategies. As you can see, this base would be great with Fireball. But of course, I am not using Fireball this time around. I'm using Root Riders to showcase the pure strength of this army in hard mode, as well as the normal mode attacks that I normally do. And I come across this base number 4 right here and spotted a great plan that I could do with the Log Launcher and the Queen to try and dismantle this base. We'll get into our plan in just a second, but feel free to skip forward using the timestamps if you're not worried about the planning and you just want to dive straight into the action. But of course, I'm going to claim this base because I believe I have a good plan for this base. So at this point, I'm going to be communicating with my teammates and deciding who is going to go first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Normally based on how confident we are on the base that we have claimed for ourselves in the match. And once the bases and attack order have been worked out, we can start planning our bases. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to be going quite in depth in terms of the planning for this attack. If that doesn't interest you, feel free to skip ahead. But if you do want to see how I'm planning my Root Rider attack in depth, then this is just for you. So, of course, I'm looking at the base at the start, and I'm starting off with using my default variant of Root Riders and looking for a plan there. But in this case, I did not spot a great plan with my original variant of Root Riders. So now I'm thinking about other options such as Log Launcher or Fireball. Now, I'm not sure about you guys. I don't see a lot of Fireball value. Maybe on this mortar would be quite good, but then we have to enter into double Fire Spitters with the Root Riders without any kind of Warden ability to support me. So the best option here, if you haven't spotted it already, is definitely to do the Log Launcher style of attack. So we use red and we'll outline exactly what Log Launcher we're going to do. Of course, we are going to go with the Queen's Arrow and the Log Launcher right around this section here. I kind of want her to take out this gold mine, and then hopefully she'll still be on track to get a nice giant arrow all the way through the base like this. It may not be 100% straight because of this annoying wall piece that they have there, which is basically trying to offset my giant arrow, make sure I can't get my queen right in this pocket, and I had to place her further out, if that makes sense. Another reason why this is a really good plan is, of course, that these defenses here, if you look, it's the Inferno, the Expo, and the Crusher Mortar. Now, of course, these defenses have really low HP compared to other defenses, which means that my Log Launcher with my arrow and my Earthquake spell is going to do a lot more work. It's going to make quicker work of these defenses than it would if, say, we were Log Launchering into a Ricochet Cannon, which has about 6,000 HP, whereas these defenses here, I believe, all have around about 5,000 health. So it's going to take me a lot less time to get through these defenses. So now that I've worked out the Log Launcher that I want to do, I need to work out how I'm going to set up this Log Launcher with my RC charge. Now, the obvious answer here is, of course, to enter into one of these poison towers on the side of the base here, so that I can have this clean path with the Queen and the arrow and the Log Launcher right into all of that juicy value, which we already have planned. Now, you might think there's a lot of space for traps in these areas, and yes, that is true, but traditionally, lots of the traps are going to be behind the Fire Spitters, and that is definitely where I thought all of the traps were going to be on this base. As you can see, there is tons of space for traps around these Fire Spitters, and it's definitely going to be an entry that's baited because people try and enter behind the Fire Spitters all the time, so that's why I'm not going to do that. So we're going to go with the Spirit Walk over on this Wizard Tower here. My plan was to get the RC into here. We'll go with our first Invis spell like this. She kind of moves in and she takes out these defenses like so, which I've just highlighted there. We have 4 Invis spells as opposed to 5 Invis spells, because I wanted to take an Earthquake spell to make even quicker work of these defenses here. I can kind of Earthquake like this and get a ton of value from the Earthquake spell. So I have now the RC charge planned. I have now the Log Launcher planned. The next stage of the attack is, of course, the Root Riders, which we will do in green. So my Root Rider path is pretty straightforward into the base like this. Now, you may notice both of these spitters are going to be facing me when I'm doing this entry. So I do need to plan ahead and make sure that I'm using my overgrowth spells to diminish some of the damage of the Root Riders. I don't want to overgrowth this Fire Spitter here because I want to keep my Root Riders path nice and clean into this Town Hall section here. And of course, we're going to use our King on the outside of the base to make sure that my Root Riders are going to keep themselves on track. There's also not a lot of splash damage or any high DPS damage for the King on the outside of the base, which means he's going to have very, very nice time on the outside of the base here with all the snakes working together and also the 10,000 or so hit points that the King has. And then, of course, the final thing that I have to worry about is the overgrowth spells. Now, as I previously said, I want the Root Rider path to move along this green line, which I have outlined there right now. So I'm going to use an overgrowth spell like this, which has a dual purpose of trying to remove the damage of this Fire Spitter, which would be hitting me if I didn't overgrowth it, and as well keep the path of the Root Riders nice and straight into the Town Hall, as opposed to giving them the option to move like this into the Monolith and potentially not go where I want them to go. And then I kind of had the general plan, you know, the King would kind of join up with the Root Riders around this area here. We'll have the King's ability and maybe the RC ability at this point, depending on how lucky we get. And we should be able to get through this compartment here fairly quickly. My number one tip in hard mode is definitely do not underestimate any defense. That, like, one defense can do so much damage. Even arch towers, if it locks onto your queen, say you're using the Sneezy on the queen, it can kill your queen so quickly. It's insane. But there is my general plan for this base that I had. Let's get right into the live replay. Okay, here we go. We are in. Let's try and triple this one. Although I think we have lost the match already, but we'll get into that in the recap. Let's begin with our Spirit Walk as planned. That was not the plan. Hopefully she does go inward here, please. Okay, thank you. Maybe looking okay now. Let's double down here. Oh no, we need that poison tower to go down. Cool, okay, we're actually looking okay. So I'm going to go with an archer here just to test if there are any traps. Go with this, go with this, go with this. Remain nice and patient. Go with the queen ability. This, 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 and this. And hopefully this will work out quite nicely. Okay, nice. So yeah, no, we're looking good. All headhunters are a go right at the start of this attack here. And let's think about using our first overgrowth spell, like so. Queen needs to stay alive. And hopefully she can. Okay, we're actually looking really good at the moment. Do have a furnace on this one. Come on, King, don't be an idiot and go. Yes, well done, King. Okay. Okay. Here we go, overgrowth like this. How are we looking? Hopefully the Queen can grab the Town Hall for me. Go Queen. Let's go King ability. Let's go with a Skelly spell. Okay, do we have this one? That is the real question here. Oh, my RC's about to die. And it looks like we got it, I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't see what's going to stop me now. There we go. Beautiful plan for this one. So, yeah, although my commentary wasn't very good, that's mostly because I haven't done a lot of esports attacks recently. And also, I didn't want to fail whatsoever. But there we go. As you can see, I did 3-star. Pretty much the same army. But, of course, when in hard mode, I needed to create a plan that's actually going to help me triple. So, we did get the 3-star there. We're going to do a recap now of some of the attacks in this war. Some of the 3-stars, some of the fails, and the overall result of this war. So, let's get right into that now. Before we jump into some of the replays for this attack, I just wanted to show our result. As you can see, we did lose due to a disconnect from Kaito. He did get a 2-star, and we would have won on percentage if he didn't disconnect. However, these things do happen, and it's not that big of a deal because it is our first match back as an esports team in quite a long time. But GG's to the other team. Let's check out the 3-star they got in this war. Diving right in then, this guy is using Root Riders. I think every single attack, bar one, was Root Riders this war. But this guy is using a slightly interesting variant, which I believe they did use 2 times this war. And that is simply using the Fireball on the Warden into the Root Riders. So this guy sets up a very, very clean Fireball there. Not a whole lot of value. And to be quite honest, I would say he was fairly lucky to triple, but at the same time this was a very clean attack. So as you can see, he is using the Yeti there to snipe the mortar on the 6 o'clock side of the base. As you can see, I'm zooming in now. He starts up the Queen with the Root Riders, Ice Column to tank, and luckily he does get a sneezy pet thing, whatever they're called, to trigger the Poison Tower. So, you know, fine, okay, he gets the Poison Tower out of the way. And he's looking pretty good. Now, one thing he doesn't really have is a great path into the Town Hall. Apart from the RC, this base has a very, very, very isolated Town Hall. And the RC in this attack just did so much work. As you can see, the RC knows nothing around it whatsoever. Completely split off from the rest of the Root Riders. And is still staying alive. And I'm telling you, just watch this RC during this attack. It was absolutely bonkers. So the RC decides to retarget there. And at this point, the RC doesn't go to the builder hut. She hops over the wall and snipes the Town Hall. And somehow, the RC is still up. I mean, it's crazy stuff. Now she's going into the enemy. Was that the Queen there? Doesn't die. But as you can see, he's got the King ability. He's got the Queen ability. Moving very, very, very fast. Flame Flinger is still up. The Poison Tower triggers. The RC is still alive. I think he had a free spell left over, which he just used there on the Fire Spitter. RC is still going, but it doesn't matter. The King and Queen ability is still intact. So yeah, very clean from this guy, I must admit. Maybe it wasn't too lucky. But yeah, I don't know how that Fireball really worked out. It wasn't a lot of value. But let's get into the next replay. Final replay that I will show you guys then. I'm going to show you this attack from Anna, who is once again using the Warden Charge Root Riders with the Fireball on this base that I shared with you guys in my Clan War League / War Base video. Now this is kind of extra proof for anyone who was saying that this base sucks in the comments, you know, saying, oh, it's luck, it's luck. I don't think they quite understand how hard it is to defend in Champs 1. And I'm sure if you guys are using those bases in like Champs 2, Champs 3, and even Champs 1, they will give you just as good, if not better, results did for me. Anyways, let's get to this guy's attack. It's pretty evident to me that he has attacked this base before, and he was able to make a plan. I believe he did attack second, which means he had maybe 20 or so minutes to plan this attack. Gets a beautiful Fireball on that Town Hall, and then I believe he does miss the Giant Arrow there. It's not 100% clear, but even then I do think he was too late on the Giant Arrow, and the Builder Huts would have healed the Town Hall to where the Giant Arrow wouldn't have taken out the Town Hall anyways. Even if he did miss the Giant Arrow there, it's not 100% clear. But he's going with this really annoying Flame Flinger, which takes out basically that whole compartment there where the King is, down at the 4 o'clock compartment with the Flame Flinger. So yeah, really annoying. One weird thing this guy has is he doesn't have any poison spell. So this Furnace, Minion Prince and Ice Golem combo, and the Poison Tower as well, absolutely smashes him. And this is where the weakness of the Fireball attack really is, because quite simply there is just no backup. There's no like extra power that you have to get through the base, because you use your Fireball, then you have the Rage Gem, which is of course a passive ability. As you can see, this Town Hall isn't actually doing a whole lot, even though it did stay up. And he is definitely in 1-star territory here. He does have 6 Super Barbs, which he can send in to try and grab the Town Hall. I assume he did save those Super Barbs, although I can't quite remember. Everything is dead now, apart from the King and the Warden. He's at 69%, funny number. And the Warden is about to go down right now. The King, though, is still very, very healthy. Got a good 5,000, 6,000 hit points there. And he's going to snipe the Mortar so that the Flame Flinger can hopefully get a little bit more value. Now, the Mortar the, what's that mortar called? The multi-gear mortar. Was not locked in at all there, and it did not lock onto his flame flinger. So he's got 25 seconds left in this attack, and just watch this, right? The Yetis come out of the CC, and if these Yetis were like a couple seconds after, and the wall opened where that ricochet cannon was, they wouldn't have gone in and grabbed the town hall. So he sends in all of these super buffs that he has left as a final last-ditch attempt to get the town hall down. 88%, and in the last second, there you go, he ran out of time right there. In the last second, he ran out of time, so yeah, it is what it is. We still wouldn't have won, even if he did 1-star that attack. So yeah, that is my first hard mode / esports video on the channel. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know if you did in the comments, and also make sure to like the video. Subscribe if you think you would like this content. I'll mostly be posting Legends content as well as Clan War League and the occasional esports videos. So yeah, that's all from me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.